If I told you that I'm going to show you my favorite card trick of all time, you might think I'm exaggerating. I've done magic for like 40 or 45 years, but I do have a favorite. Out of all the card tricks, I do have a favorite. This is what I like about this trick. Because if I was at somebody's house and they say, hey, can you show us a trick? I say, yeah, go grab a deck of cards. I'm going to do it with their cards, normal deck, borrowed deck, and I'm going to let them do the trick. They're going to handle the cards. They're going to shuffle them. And yet it's super easy to do and unbelievably amazing. I'll show you what it looks like. So this would be a borrowed deck, right? It can be any deck of 52 cards. This happens to be an average deck of cards, a bicycle rider back. Okay, so again, shuffled, borrowed deck. I would spread them out and say, let's make sure it's look like they're all here. Sometimes people have decks of cards that are missing, but this looks like we're playing with a full deck. But once we're satisfied, or once they're satisfied that we've shuffled everything up all nice and messy, again, I like messy shuffles because that means the cards are really getting shuffled. Once we're satisfied with that, then it's time for the trick to begin. Now, before any card is even selected, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out a piece of paper and a pen, and I'm going to write down the name of a card I think that's going to matter. Okay, so there's my prediction. I write it on a piece of paper and put it face down in view of the audience the whole time. And they haven't even picked a card yet. They haven't even started the trick. All we have in front of us is a borrowed deck that's been shuffled and cut as many times as they want to. And nothing else has happened. But this is what we're going to do. I tell them we're going to use the process of elimination and have them pick one of these 52 cards. So I'm going to ask them to pick up the deck and put it in their hand like this. This is what they would do. And I would say, now, I just want you to start putting cards face down on the table like this. Again, we're going to use the process of elimination. So you just choose, I don't know, 15, 20 cards, a small packet of cards we're going to use, and then let's eliminate the ones you don't want. So you chose this packet, and they will have decided that this is the packet of cards we're going to do the trick with. And let's use the process of elimination again, I'll tell them, and pick up the packet. And this time I want you to make two piles, kind of like one for me, one for you pile, okay? Because again, we're going to eliminate some cards. We want to end up with one selected card. Now I've got two piles here, and I'm going to say to them, what I'd like you to do is put one of those piles in my hand. And let's say they do that right here. Say, okay, again, process of elimination, and we're left with this packet of cards. There's 52 in the deck, but we shuffled, you shuffled, cut the deck, and then you selected the packet and broke it down into even smaller packets. Let's see how many cards are even here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You ended up with nine cards out of 52. And hopefully one of those cards is going to be what I predicted. Let's see what happens. All right. I wrote down the 7 of clubs. I wonder if the 7 of clubs, wouldn't it be amazing if the 7 of clubs was in there? Well, maybe it'd be kind of amazing because there's 9 cards out of the deck. But what would really be amazing is if the 7 of clubs was right there. Now that is my favorite card trick. And if you want to learn how to do it, I'm going to show you right now. Okay, again, this trick is so incredibly fun to do and easy. I didn't do, well, I did a little sleight of hand, but it was optional. And I'll show you that in a minute. You don't have to do any sleight of hand. I did a little bit with the shuffle, but I cheated. But that's what I do. I'm a magician, so I cheat, but at least I'm honest about it. Anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to have them shuffle the cards, just however you want to do that. The trick is this. Remember when I said, hey, let's spread the cards out and make sure everything's here? This is where I'm getting my prediction. As soon as somebody spreads the cards out like this, I am going to take a look at the top card, which is this one right here, and I'm going to memorize it. That will be my prediction because that's the card they're going to end up with. I'll show you why here in just a minute. Now you may have noticed that when we scooped up the cards, normally we just go like this and now start the trick. But I kind of like to give them one more shuffle, and when I do a little sneaky thing. I don't really shuffle. Remember, I want to remember that top card, 6 of clubs, but I give it a quick shuffle like this, just to make sure they're really shuffled. But you know what I did was a little bit of a sleight of hand trick. And if you want to know how that works, I have a video about that. It's called the slip cut. But you don't have to do it that way. You can just spread the cards out after they're all shuffled and say, okay, and they look shuffled, and just start the trick right there. You don't have to do that extra sneaky move. I just like to do it because I'm extra sneaky. Okay? Anyway, knowing what the top card is is how you do the trick. The rest of it's pretty simple. And here's what happens. I have them pick up the deck. Now think about it. I've written down the 6 of clubs over here. Let's just do that real quick. 6 clubs. And I will have made my prediction and set it there. And then we begin the trick because I know they're going to end up with the 6 of clubs. Now, it's really important that they do this in their hands because it's just obviously more amazing because you're not doing anything sneaky with your hands. So here's what happens. They start putting cards down. It doesn't matter how many they put down, but if you think about it, what just happened was the card I want them to end up with was the first card they put on the table, right? It was that 6 of clubs because it was on the top of the deck. So now it's on the bottom of the packet. And they're going to pick only so many cards. And we say, it's really important to say, we're going to use the process of elimination. We're going to say that a couple times because that is good psychology for this trick. Now we have a packet, and what's really happening with this packet is the card I want them to pick is on the bottom of this packet. So I have them pick it up, and I simply say, make 2 piles. One for you, one for me. And what I'm going to be looking for is the very last card that they put down, because the very last card they put down is going to be the one on the bottom of the packet, the 6 of clubs, my prediction. So here's what that looks like. They'll be going like this. And it doesn't really matter how many cards that were in these packets. What matters is the last card they put down, which is this one here. And I keep my eye on that last one because look what it is, right? So I want to end up with that packet on the table. And that's when I did this little sneaky thing called the magician's choice. Remember when I said, I want you to put one of those packets in my hand. I didn't say, which packet should we use? I said, I want you to put one of those packets in my hand because we've been using the process of elimination. So what happens is I want that packet to end up on the table. So if I say, put a packet in my hand and they put this one, that's easy. I'm going to get rid of it. We're using elimination and I'm left with what I want. But what if that's the packet they choose? That's okay too. Put a packet in my hand. If they pick this one, say, okay, this is the packet you chose. So this is the packet we will use and we will eliminate the others. So it doesn't matter. That's magician's choice. The point is we want them to end up with this packet because I know that there's a 6 of clubs on the top of it. Now, I remind them that they shuffled the cards, they cut the cards, they chose how many, they split them into 2 groups, they chose a packet to use, and out of all 52 cards, they ended up with this small packet. Now, in my mind, I know where I stand. The card that I want them to end up with is on the top of this little packet. But I'm going to reverse it because I said, let's just see out of curiosity how many cards you chose. Watch what I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Even though I'm counting the cards, what I'm really doing is moving the top card to the bottom like that. All I did was reverse the cards, but I was doing it under the guise of, hey, let's see how many cards you ended up with. Oh, you ended up with 9. Well, out of 52 cards, you ended up with these 9 cards. What did I say? I said 6 of clubs. Wouldn't it be amazing if your 6 of clubs was in this packet? My prediction. Would that be amazing? Kind of. What would really be amazing if it ended up being the one right there? And of course, it is. Isn't that fabulous? That's a great trick. There's a lot of different variations, and like I said, I used a little bit. I cheated a little bit because I did that slip cut, but it doesn't matter if you don't want to do that. As long as you know the top card, whatever it is, that will be your prediction. You can do the trick. Greatest card trick of all time, in my opinion, with a borrowed deck. Now, there's other great card tricks that are, with special decks, but this, in my opinion, is a really, really easy trick to do. There's no sleight of hand, a little bit of psychology. I kind of like that. It can happen in their hands, their deck, borrowed. Just clean, fun, amazing magic. Go try it. It's really good.